Now, personally, I would stop buying cryptocurrency unless you start doing this. So I'm just going to walk you through it. Very, very simple. And, before I was just accumulating at any old price range, any sort of day, any sort of time. And that's fine if you've got tons of liquidity, tons of capital, which at the time I didn't. And to be fair, I sometimes wonder if I even do, because I'm still using this indicator to time as perfectly as possible. Now, the thing is with crypto, it's not rocket science. You don't have to overcomplicate, overanalyze, and I guess make things overly complex. Sometimes simplicity is key, and I think this strategy here just applies mostly to the large cap coins in the crypto space like Bitcoin, Ethereum, but it can also be applied to some altcoins out there. So I just want to show you something that I use, and to be fair, if you're not using it, then you're kind of just taking shots in the dark. So firstly, it's the 200-week moving average. Now, you can see this on CoinGlass, but firstly, this is something that you need to get used to looking at for Bitcoin. It's a logarithmic regression. Now, what this red line is, it actually reflects a 200-week moving average, and every time the Bitcoin price touches down on this 200-week moving average, it shows that Bitcoin is in an extreme fear phase, undervaluation phase, and potentially in a very good dollar cost average phase where the downside price potential is minimized. So I suppose the probability of peak financial return is higher, right? And you can see many times this has happened. In January 2019, we had the COVID 2020 March crash over here, and you can see we're on that red line, which reflects a buying opportunity. Now, fast forward to recent times, 2022, we had, of course, the Terra Luna crash. We had the Sam Bankman-Fried tragic event. And as well, these black swan events that you can't control in the crypto world, we've also broken the 200-week moving average a few times. So this is a buying indicator. When you're below it, this could be a good time to buy, which also ties into the other thing, which comes down to using the BLX chart on TradingView, which we'll talk about in a moment. But more importantly, guys, the relative strength index. So stop buying crypto long term unless you're using the RSI. And what I do is with the relative strength index is that you look at it on a weekly time frame, and immediately you can just see when Bitcoin is overbought and euphoric, which we just are right now, guys. So this is why it's so important, because we are as overbought and greedy almost as we were back in December 2020 when Bitcoin was thriving at an all-time high, which you can see reflected just here as we look at the RSI. When Bitcoin was at 60k, we were this overbought. And I don't think we're near that area where we're going to start seeing all-time highs. So I think personally we're going to see a correction soon in the markets, and this is just a local high, but we will potentially come back down to like $25,000. Anyway, I'm sort of drifting away. What I want to share with you is this is reflecting consumer behavior. This RSI chart is reflecting human beings, and you can see the ideal time to be buying is when you're actually sub 40 RSI, if not even below 30 RSI if you possibly can, because this is where the markets are extremely fearful. No one wants to buy, and people have lost interest in the market. So you can see here, if you were to have bought Bitcoin in this nice undervaluation phase where the RSI hit 26, where we've got our blue vertical line, you can see you would have been accumulating Bitcoin at $18,000. But if you're buying back in the greedy RSIs, instead you're going to be buying at $40,000 and also $27,000. So it's not really ideal if you're looking to do the long-term thing. You can also see that Bitcoin actually came down to $15,000 momentarily when the RSI was sitting even lower, which is absolutely crazy. So the RSI won't help you time it perfectly, but it will help you get as close to the bottom and as close to the top as possible. If you sold Bitcoin in this peak RSI at 93, you'd have sold at $67,000, or actually no, not quite, $41,000. So you can see there is that dispersion, but it tells you when you're getting close to the top and when you're getting close to the bottom. You won't get them perfect, but it's better than buying now when Bitcoin is already at like, $40,000 and it's already done a 2x or more, a 2.5x from the bottom over there. So that's one thing to also consider, and it repeats itself, guys. It's a valid data point, because if you go back to March 2020, where we can see again, oh look, we're oversold in the RSI, we're looking at 32 oversold. Well, guess what? If you bought at $5,000, you had the chance to sell again in extreme greed at a whopping $60,000 to $40,000. If you go back to July 2016, oversold RSI. If we can find one, the last oversold RSI was actually here, January 2015 at $172. The next overbought RSI takes you to $500, and then all the way up to $20,000. So that can be applied. Also use your BLX chart. Start using your logarithmic regression chart as well. This will show you guys when you're on TradingView. You go to the BLX chart right here on screen. You look at your logarithmic regression on the weekly time frame, and it highlights to you the green areas and also the red ribbon. So you have a red ribbon at the top, you also have a green ribbon at the bottom. The green one symbolizes a time to potentially be buying cryptocurrency, because again, there's a lot of fear in the markets. This can be supported by the relative strength index. You can look at it again. Oh yeah, we're at 30, we're oversold. Or, oh yeah, we're at 35, we're in a fearful environment. And you can see that. You can actually see here, if I just take this, you can see this range correlates very, very tightly with this entire range here. And you can see this is where we're in that green ribbon of that logarithmic regression, which helps you identify a fair value for Bitcoin. Same again for the red ribbon, which we're not close to. However, we are overbought on the RSI. Other one, fear and greed index, a very simple tool. If you're sitting at 90 and you're extreme greed in the markets, for a long-term hold, a long-term 5-year portfolio, you've not bought at the optimal time. You want to be waiting until this fear and greed index is ideally sitting rock bottom. You can see sometimes we've seen fear and greed indexes as low as 9. That's a great time to hold, accumulate, and wait and be patient. Go to Ethereum, apply the same logic. We can see, look, oversold RSI massively, 27. If you bought in then, you'd have bought Ethereum at $893, aka the bottom, the lowest price we saw. That's all thanks to the relative strength index. Then you hold. Oh, look, we're 2,000, we're 2x up now. Fantastic, you know, excellent to see that. Go back in time, apply the same logic. Oh, look, we see our oversold here. So we can take this, we know we're oversold here, December 2018. Yay, we're oversold on that weekly RSI. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, if you buy $79, you were able to ride that up to $285 and even $358 at the time. Apply this to Chainlink. Again, you hit those oversold positions, 32 on the RSI. You bought Chainlink at $5, it's now $15. You've done a 3x because the RSI helps you do so. Apply this to Synthetics as another altcoin. I'm just trying to give some examples. It didn't get quite below 30, but it did hover around for some good time. This low region at between 33 and 36. And what happens? Well, the coin pumps. It's now overbought on the RSI. And if you bought down at these low $1 to $2 levels, you're now like 3x up again. So the same thing is happening. You buy the sub-broken RSI levels, you hold for a long time, ideally a year or 2 or even 3, and you might be 2, 3, 4, 5, even 10x up depending on the coins that you have purchased. So thought I'd just put that out there for you guys. Also, if you are new here, subscribe to the channel, consider becoming a Patreon. The Patreon link is right down below, where you can unlock over 500 trading signals per month, like the ones I've got on screen. So this is for serious traders. Like if you seriously have got your finger out your ass and you are working hard, you're knuckling down and you're not looking to make any excuses to do better for yourself, then get involved in our Discord. Over 18,000 members. Become a patron. And guys, yeah, I just wanted to share this with you. So until you start using your heat map, your relative strength index, I personally would not even be buying Bitcoin anymore, because this is what helps you master the art of traversing through crypto volatility, and it helps you not really be so reliant on emotions and the things that you see like on social media. You're relying on yourself and indicators and on-chain analysis, which will help you time the markets. Anyways, thanks for watching this video. I'll see you soon. Subscribe to the channel down below. Stay crypto safe. Peace.